did that. All right. I think we are up. All right, guys. Welcome. First time I've used the little schedule stream thing. I still don't think I quite understand it, but looks like we're up, and let's get going. Let's register for one of these tournaments and see how things go. Last one we got pretty lucky, ran pretty well the whole time. So let's hope for some more smooth sailing. One or two interesting spots maybe, but not too many. We'd rather just win, right? So out here in California, getting pretty excited about the Commerce LAPC tournament coming up. It's coming up in 2 weeks, starting the weekend of the 20-something. Maybe I'll bring the schedule up, but you guys can go and search that up if you're in the area. They haven't had, last year, of course, they had to cancel it or cut it very short because of COVID, and it actually was the last thing to happen right before COVID kind of made everything shut off. So let me see here. Looks like I need to adjust the size of this window a little bit. And let's see here. So you guys can see. There we go. Alright, that's better. Alright, so got in, started right off. Under the gun, ace-3 offsuit. No reason to splash around too much right here. If we were suited, that would have been a whole different story, especially if we had hearts, right? Let's see here. So far, didn't really watch. It looks like it was limped in, and we're getting a little bit of action here. Good old min bet on the flop on an extremely wet board. 4 to a straight, 3 to a flush. So when people do that and they get raised, and they're going to call. There's really no point to making that bet. I mean, who's going to fold for that bet? If you know your opponents, and or if you're in a situation where that bet's going to be close to, a significant part of their stack, maybe. I mean, later in tournament when a min bet is a pretty decent bet. When they have a 4 to a straight kind of situation. Look, no one even had the flush. I apologize for the background noise. My neighbors have some truck that barely works, and they like to rev it to make sure that they know that it's still alive. Yeah, and then letting that straight take it down. I'm guessing these guys had the 9, but with the flush out there and with action happening, there's really nothing. I mean, what good thing's gonna happen for you, right? It's kind of like that hand where I had the Jack 10 in the last stream, just kind of calling along. All right, so we got bottom pair, no back doors, other than backdoor runner or straight. A bunch of people limped in. I would expect someone to have some sort of weak ace or king, or even a good king. We're still early here. That's a great price, but given that there's still people left to act and I have no back doors, I'm just going to let it go. This guy could have anything. Let's get a feel for our opponents before we start playing. Plus, he was the one with ace-king last hand, and I think that was limped around as well. So, I mean, hey, you could have ace-king again. Yeah, based on the button being down a big blind. All right, so let's see. We have an early open, under the gun open, 10-4, easy fold. All right, so this time we would have had a backdoor, similar flop as last time. Let's see what happens. The under the gun opener got quite a lot of action. So this table's playing pretty loose, limps and small raises here. A lot of people multi-way to the flop. It's going to make us a little less incentivized to make any kind of small raises with marginal hands. Would be nice to get something good, and also it looks like we have something premium. We're going to want to make it pretty big because everybody's calling. Either everyone calls our really big bet when we have a premium hand, which we don't mind, or we might actually be able to get heads up because we don't really want to go against 5 people if we have like ace king here. I mean, this particular pot we wouldn't mind, but in general we'd like to narrow the field down, even against something like queens, right? Much rather put in a big bet, get heads up, than have to go against the entire table here. All right, that's a lot of strong cards out there. The flush draw missed, straight draw comes in, Little Pixie's all in. Now Little Pixie's the one that made that min bet, probably with a 9 the other hand, and then just kept calling it off. And she's in, so she's a pretty active player, assuming it's a she. All right, Jack deuce, even on the button, no thank you. We'll just save our chips till the blinds go up and we get some better hands. find ourselves some better spots. Alright, let's see here. Checking around on this middle flop. Nope. So D Sisson goes for the min bet. Really enjoying this min bet this first round. I'm not a big fan of the min bet unless I've actually got something that I'm trying to get called by, ace high or, more or less nothing. But with a wet board like that, you can definitely make a bigger bet and get called by hands. And here the flush draw comes in. There's still a straight flopped out there. So one of the blinds is saying they want to play. What can this guy, he just called. He could certainly have draws. And if he had the flush, I can't really think he'd be comfortable betting. Alright, Sisson's given up. Roseboro 2 doesn't want to bet either. More checking around. Alright, at this point, it's interesting. I would expect to just see some hands that were one paired on the flop and some eights. Roseboro 2 makes a very small bet. Very thin value bet on the river here. Maybe has the flush. No one's really interested. I'm guessing we're seeing a couple pairs and a couple straight draws that didn't even have a pair involved there. No flushes. Alright, ace deuce for one off. So in a tighter table I might open this guy up. But Little Pixie's really been calling everything. Gray Ghost. And offsuit, terrible kicker. Once again, we're just going to save our chips for a better spot. Gray Ghost limps in. And you're seeing a lot of limps. I mean, you only start with 50 big blinds. The blinds have gone up once, so now we're sitting at 25 big blinds apiece. At least the starting stacks are, which is not a ton. Not a ton. So you really want to be trying to win the pots, and not just seeing flops and seeing if you hit. But this is where a lot of the value comes from in these small stakes. And honestly, I wouldn't really expect the play to change much right up until, up into maybe $5. Up to $5 buy-in, sitting goes. I'd expect everyone to play about the same. We're starting at the bottom. Going to grind our way up here, though, starting at the 55 centers and see if we can make something happen and ladder on up. So ace-10 suited, obviously, pretty good hand. Oh, we have an open already, though. So this is interesting. If I call, we're going to get a lot of calls. Never shuffled. I don't think he's really played a hand yet, though. So just going to try and take a hand in position and play it. The downside is we are encouraging a lot of people to call. I would expect both the blinds to call this. But I wouldn't be really surprised either. So in general, if we were a little deeper, I'd like to raise this. But given that in general people are pretty weak at this game, I don't mind seeing a flop. So you're never shuffled. Checking. Definitely don't think he has a king. Think he could slab us beat with jacks or queens, but probably just doesn't have a king, and we're probably way ahead here. So I think that we have the best hand all the time here. I'm not going to bet just because jacks or queens is going to call, and we're going to lose, though. Ooh, see, now that's interesting. That really makes me think he might have jacks or queens. Or, honestly, he could have top set. Price isn't amazing, but it's not like you bet over pot. Yeah, I think we can call here. He may have a flush. I think, given the way he played his jacks or queens, I don't think he would bet them. But no, he did have the jacks and he did bet them. Good for him. After checking twice, I feel like he would just continue with his checks. But that's why we didn't bet. We probably could have won that if we triple barreled. But other than that, I don't see us winning that hand, like ever. It's interesting he bet when the hearts came, and he has no hearts in his hand. This guy seems to be pretty straightforward type player. Put a color on this guy, I don't know. But yeah, it seemed pretty straightforward. I mean, he bet under pot, given that we had been playing our hand like we have literal nothings. It does kind of encourage, like a ace jack, ace queen hand to bet. I really wouldn't expect him to bet with nines or worse. So it's really just whether or not he has the... And honestly, at this level, I don't really see people... I don't think you see people betting jacks or queens there for value very often. Now, and usually when you do, I think it's a little smaller, honestly. So it's very interesting there. I think with a king, I may have started betting the turn, and I think we get called then, and then we check the river back most likely, unless it was a really good king or two pair. So I think, if we had that king, he would have lost the same number of chips, but interesting. Yeah, it was pretty close in the river there, given that the flush draw came in. He could have the flush draw. I think it was about 50-50. It was probably about a break-even call, which, in a tournament like this, may be a spot where you want to just fold. I mean, especially if you still have chips after the fold. 50-50 play isn't something you really have to take in the beginning. I mean, if you think you have an edge on your opponents, which I think I do, you know. So you can see we pretty much had his range dead on. We got an okay price on the river to call. All right, another limp fest. So we're just hoping we get a hand that holds before the end of this, before the blinds go up so much we just start shoving every time, because this limp fest and these people pretty playing pretty face up. We should be able to do all right. All right, bunch of min bets. These bets just make no sense. I mean, if you're bluffing, no one will ever fold. If you're value betting, you can probably get them to call more. You're giving a great price to any draws. Min bet almost never makes sense, especially multi-way here. I mean, unless you've got the stone cold nuts, you really think everyone has nothing. Heads up, you know, sometimes you can get cute. I'll do weird things like that sometimes just to throw people off, or to, you know, you really have a read. They have literal nothing, maybe ace high, and you're just trying to squeeze that last bit of chips out of them. But yeah, all right, there we go. Queen 10 offsuit. Suited, we're definitely opening. Once again, at a fairly loose table like this, I don't really like playing this. And now the blinds are 100. We've got 10 bigs. So unfortunately, at 10 bigs, having not won a hand yet, we're going to need to find a spot, a better value spot to get some chips. Calling and trying to hit flops, I mean, it's going to work maybe 1 out of 5 times, but we can do a little better than that. In the meantime, you just bleed off your whole stack. So a spot like this, you end up open-ended, have to call bets. Maybe you hit with the diamond, you know, maybe you miss and you just bleed off all your chips. It's worth noting though, the tendency at the table has been to min bet, so you do get to see turns and rivers fairly cheaply. And given that they're so loose though, now most of the real bets I think have been getting kind of the folds, but if I were to just ship the turn, for instance, what's the chances of getting a fold, right? In this case, once again, that's why you don't want to be just hunting to catch your cards, right? You didn't even catch a pair. What are we going to do? Your little pixie way to the river to drop the hammer. I can't, yeah, I was going to say, I can't see you folding here. Oh, well, look at that. She had aces, and she's been trapping the whole time. All right, ace 4 suited. Now, under the gun, this is kind of a iffy one. 10 big blinds, though. I think we get it in there with suited ace, with 10 bigs. Not a great situation given how loose the table's been. There's really only a couple people there, and they all just folded, who can call with impunity though, so I think we'll get through. Oh, well, that's just bad luck. It's got ace queen there. We got hearts at least. Did we get the chop? We got the chop. All right, we survived. Hey, that was bad luck, ace queen in the big. Obviously, the guys we're most concerned about are over here, but what are you gonna do? Easy check fold. Maybe we'll get a walk. Alright, so interesting. Never shuffled's the one that had the... Alright, so let's try and take this pot away. We've got a tiny, yeah. Pocket pair and a limper. Given the little pixie limp with aces, I think we'll just take our 50. Yeah, she's willing to limp with all hands apparently, so let's just see if we can make something happen here. It's a pretty good flop for us. And obviously we want a 4 or 5 on the turn, or everyone checking through and something safe coming on the turn. 300, that's pretty big for her. It's interesting. Be interested to see this go to showdown, but mostly been seeing min bets from everyone. All right, king queen on the button, that's going to be good enough. Assuming everyone folds, it is. Even if there's a limper, we'll have to evaluate who it is. So once again, we have 11 big blinds. We would like to just chip up. I was very unlucky. As we saw, we pegged this as a pretty tight player, so for him to have ace queen in the big, it's He's got to be a monster like that to not get through. All right, king, queen on the button. 11 big blinds, easy, all in. Take it down. Okay, all right, now we're up to 12. Unfortunately, without winning hands early, we're in the kind of all in or fold section. At least until we get up to, you know, the bigger stacks here. 12 big blinds really isn't enough, and like I said, everyone's been limping and then calling, and with Little Pixie, with the guys at the top here having, you know, getting these stacks, I think they're still going to play loose for those 200, that raise to 200, raise to 300, so not really any reason to let them into the pot if I can just slam them out of there. Ace Queen offsuit got in there. Curious. So that's interesting. I mean, there was an open, I think, to 300. There's the call. Completely missed. You only have backdoors. And then to call it off, 1,000 chips, it's really unnecessary. I mean, that's the luxury of having this many chips is you don't have to ship that hand. 12 bigs. This is kind of on the edge, but I don't know. Blah blah is really the one we're most concerned about, being a little tilty, calling with something random, but let's find out. Or, you know, you could just have aces. That's also a thing that could happen. Okay, well, that'll do. Oh, I still have 200. We're not out. Well, we're running into some bad luck with the big blinds. Right, so we have almost nothing. We'll take a king high. Almost no chips, not even 2 big blinds. We're really bad luck with the big blinds when we go all in lately. I think we went in 3 times and twice big blind had a big premium hand, huh? All right, we're looking for maybe a king and definitely a queen. There's a bet there. He's probably an ace. Kind of makes me think I need a queen. Sucks to not have any diamonds. Hurts our chances. Oh, 2s. We got all sorts out. Let's hit something. Ah. Yeah, so the 2s there, I'm going to question that. Maybe if you raise, it's better to get heads up, but especially betting the flop, I don't really know there. It's a sit and go. So in a big tournament, you want to win the pot, sure, because you're so far away from the money. But every person you knock out in a sit and go gets you appreciably closer to the money. And with 2s, your opponent has so many outs. I mean, I literally could have hit. We could have hit a jack. You know, in the river we could have hit. What was it, an 8? Got like 17 outs going to the river. I mean, it's either too greedy or too. It's either just too greedy or just too thin. I mean, you really shouldn't be bluffing these protected pots, especially if you're knocking someone out. It's going to be, you know, getting everyone pretty much close to the money by a decent amount. So that was unfortunate. That went pretty fast. We didn't really get a chance to play any hands, or we definitely didn't get any hands. I think, like I said, the king jack was kind of borderline, but these turbos, you don't really have a lot of time to think about it. So when they fold to you, think if the hand's on the edge, it's nothing wrong with going in. It's just unlucky. They had aces. Yeah, I guess we could have folded that ace 10. Like I said, that's kind of on the edge as well. You do kind of find people either are going to bluff a lot or not, and since I hadn't seen that guy play yet, default would probably be think he's not going to bluff that much. Typically in these tournaments and these, you know, in these small stakes, people show you the way they're going to play right away. You know, if they're going to be bluffy, they're going to be bluffing every hand they play right off the bat. They're going to play a lot of hands from the beginning. You know, if it's someone's first hand and it's been 15, 20 hands in, they probably were waiting for something. Another thing to note, though, is very loose, much looser than our last tournament, I think. So these looser tournaments are going to be a lot higher variance. They're actually a little bit harder to be consistently get in there at, because, you know, when people call, you got to win. Your hand has to show down. So, all right, we're starting the button. Much better than last time we were under the gun. We have 7s, also much better. So let's see what happens. Being it's the first hand and it's early, if we get a bunch of limpers, we're definitely going to take a aggressive line, given that we're the button. Try and set the tone for things. Yep, so let's go ahead and try and get some of these guys out. Didn't work. Let's get a flop where Richard Hertz doesn't want to play then. Or we could flop 7. It's a terrible, terrible flop. I don't think we can continue. We have to just hope we flop a 7 on the turn of 7. So this board, I mean, these guys are calling with almost anything, and unless they all called with ace five, ace three, you know, there's this crushes their range. So it's really, and now there's two flush draws. There's no fold equity happening here. Not interested in bluffing all in on the first hand with a board this dangerous. I am hoping there's some action so we get to see, but there is not. I was hoping. Now him just calling the small blind right out the gate like that was pretty strong. These guys I'm gonna peg is quite weak, limping and then calling the raise, especially this person here, the 2-4-4-3. Min raise, we're near the button, so looks like we're gonna get close to all in. I mean close to heads up. This might be worth, you know, let's make this loose call like early in the tournament. Let's try and make a play. Oh, yeah, Richard Hertz came in. So, you know, Richard Hertz might just be really loose and gambly. We'll find out soon. Like I said, people usually show you right away, and so far he's been in both of the raised pots. One of them raised quite significantly. So let's see what he does. Well, this time we have some action right on the flop. Okay, sticking around, looking for a chance to make a move. Alright, we got Lee in there as well. So, Poker Kid bets again. He's going to be saying he's got himself a king. But he bets small. Why would you bet small? Doesn't make any sense. There's draws out there. King, and you're betting small. And now he's out. So that's just a waste of chips by the Poker Kid. I don't know what he's thinking there. Lee is telling the story. He flopped a set. King 7 and 5-9. Oh, what a turn card. Okay, so Richard Hertz is in here to gamble and to mix it up. And Lee, that made no sense. One pair is not a hand you want to jam right there. You're not looking to bluff catch that. All in Poker Kid also. That hand, I don't think you can even really, like, it's important to try and understand how people play so that you can have some idea what's going on in the beginnings of these things, but typically by the time we get down to 5 people, either someone like Mr. Hertz here has gotten lucky, you've seen it, you know how they're playing, or all those people are gone for obvious reasons. Jamming, top pair, bottom kicker, more or less no kicker. On the second hand of the tournament, good luck with that. It does work sometimes. You'll see people in there with worse, but yeah. Alright, All in Poker Kid's going after it again. Bets a quarter pot though. Once again, these bets make no sense. Double paired board with a straight flush. Interesting. I'd be curious to know what Satori had. Alright, here's hoping Richard Hertz is not clamming up, but I think he is. He may have hit his one hand and he's going to just play it tight now, so let's see what happens. Alright, we're going to make it 90, but now that we have a limper, let's make it 120. Hopefully Helvan isn't a limp folder. He called before when I was on the button and we had the 7s. Good. So as long as he doesn't have an 8, we stand to make a fair number of chips here. I think we're going to be alright to get all the chips in, given the pot size and the fact that, yeah. Yeah, alright, no reason. I mean, we're getting in no matter what. If he has clubs or an 8, God bless. Yeah, I mean, once again, makes no sense. What's going on here? And this is why these tournaments can be profitable. Now we just have to milk this and not mess up. It looks to me like Richard Hertz is definitely not doing anything. Let's throw him a bone. There you go. We'll make him think he can bluff that board because that makes any sense whatsoever. The only real hands that can do that is what do you do? He just donked and kept betting. Yeah, no hand really can do that other than an 8, and an 8 usually isn't going to donk there. Maybe pocket queens don't make much sense. Yeah, nothing really made a lot of sense there, of course. He's all in. Yeah, let's take a shot and see if people will help us knock him out. So people who make huge raises here with weak hands, yeah, if this guy's hand is weak, then once again, highly question. This is a protected pot. I mean, Austin Patrick didn't raise with a good hand though. Interesting. Let's see, ace king, ace five. Nope, ace five is not a good hand. Spades coming. Nope. So ace king holds, no pairs. Oh, ha! He had a five. Free money. Free money. Richard Hertz made a raise. Now, he was playing crazy before, but then he got this massive chip stack. So we're going to play cautious. Once again, if we were very deep, I would definitely be making bigger. I would go for the 3-bet there. Let's see what kind of hand Richard Hertz has. I would suspect if he was going to turtle up and start playing now, he would have a pocket pair, which means he doesn't like this flop. But who knows? It's a pretty small bet given the board. This is troubling. We're going to call one more time, but I really... Alright, never mind. I was going to say, I really think that these people might have better aces than me. I really expect Richard to have 10s, jacks, kings here, which means you shouldn't have ace king. So we have ace queen here. I don't know, but once again, survival. It's a tournament. We're trying to survive. We have 2,200 chips. That's pretty decent. Richard called though, so maybe he has the ace king. And 2, 4, 4, 3 left themselves 60 chips. So you said before they didn't seem very competent. What do you have, Richard Hertz? Why are you checking? Ace king? Oh, whoa. All right, so that was silly. Ace queen makes sense. The 9-10 doesn't. Richard Hertz said pocket nines and flop to set. That's why he bet small. I don't know why you called 60. There's not much. Doesn't make much sense. And all of a sudden, Richard Hertz has destroyed the table down to 5. If and when we knock this person out, we'll only need to knock one more person out, and we'll be in the money here. All in Poker Kids, the bottom of the totem pole here. See if our 3 is good enough to knock out 2, 4, 4, 3. Nope. The figures. You dealt kings turn after you lose all your chips. So Richard, yeah, he opened a pocket pair like I said. He flopped a set. Wait to call. I don't know why I didn't take the last 60 at some point. Let's see if he's going to turtle up at all. There's no reason for him to play. He's basically guaranteed to make money here if he just doesn't play. See if he probably can't resist the tendencies to be aggro. Austin Patrick defended. Alright, let's make a bet here. I would expect him to defend with good cards. Yeah. This is actually good for us. Obviously, we have a straight draw. We had the betting initiative. We could have had a pair already. Now, All in Poker Kid and 2, 4, 4, 3 are the ones we want to beat. Austin Pat. I don't mind chipping up against Austin Patrick if he's going to keep calling and folding, though. 7, 8. We have a gutter here, but this is a pretty connected flop. I do have the 9, which means fewer diamond draws out there, but I think given that I just want to outlast those two, I'm just going to see what happens here. Again, another set of checks. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to bet, but it doesn't make sense for jacks here to be checking, and I do still have a gut shot draw and an ace draw. And Poker Kid has got... Alright, he's going to go for it. I don't like him winning this hand, but I am protecting my stack. Alright. I don't like folding when the micro stacks in the big, because there's a chance they could win the hand, but my hand's not very good. Don't want to deal with a raise. Here you go, Austin Patrick's taking it upon himself to try and get rid of her. There we go, down to 120. Good job. I'm going to have to call her all in with 10-7. Ugh. Maybe she'll just fold the 30. She's probably going to call the 30 because that's how bad she is. All right. This, I didn't want to have to call the extra 60, but not giving her a free ride. If All in Poker Kid raises, good for him. That's not really a great play, but given that he's the next shortest stack, I can forgive him. We need an 8. Don't bet with worse than a jack. We need an 8. Ugh, why are you betting? If she had a jack, then you're just a freaking idiot, Mr. Poker Kid. So I fold this terrible hand to the huge stack here. See if we can chip up when we're in a better position. All in Poker Kid did win some though. The fact that he's limping here. Why are you limping? Alright, I haven't really seen him limp yet. A raise is going to put us in an awkward spot. I think So probably the best bet there was to make it like 400, but just tough with Mr. Hertz over here. Now he's just donking out, so there's a bet and a raise off the bat. I think we fold. In fact, what we'd really like is for Richard Hertz to stack Austin Patrick, and we sneak into third place. Once again, you're playing a sit and go. You know, every hand, you don't have to win every hand. All you want is for other people to get knocked out. So if you can just keep chips, that's all there is to it. Yeah, right here, we're going for it. So if Hertz wins this hand, which it looks like he's gonna, because why did Austin do that with King 4? We just made the money. So there you go. I mean, it's kind of like folding your way into it, but you don't have to, because folding your way into it is kind of like relying on the blind. This is more, the other players are just so self-destructive that it's not even gonna take that long. I mean, I think even if I had 500 chips, that guy was still gonna self-explode right there and just dump off all his chips, and that's just horrendous. So what we're really doing now is we just want to keep a reasonable stack until the blinds get big enough that when we start shipping, we'll actually start winning our stack back, but it's going to be tough playing three-handed here. All right, ace 8, it's not bad. See, we're going to have to do some weird things, like, I think we're going to have to go with the call ship on Richard Hertz here with ace 8, even though he's been playing pretty. All right, well, I take that back. He didn't bet. We're not folding unless another spade comes, though. Definitely not folding unless a fourth spade comes. See if we get some value from a queen. I think we did. All right, nice. We won a pot. Yeah, we're not going to play d7. No pressure. So I don't like that Richard's not putting pressure on the stacks anymore. But I mean, that's good for me as far as winning. It's not so good as far as second place. So when you have a big stack like that, you really need to be putting pressure on the other stacks. I mean, it doesn't even have to be much, but especially given how hot this guy's been running this tournament. And 100 chips is really pressure. And limping preflop against the big blind is definitely not pressure. King 8, Queen 8. Yeah, so if you're going to bluff, I mean, 100 chips, just not going to do it, Richard. All right, all in poker, kid. Let's play a hand. All right, we're not folding. Still not folding. If he slows down, I'm getting there. I'd like it if he slowed down. He's not slowing down. This is very interesting. So he's playing like he obviously has an ace. Now the king came. So what? I don't actually have the flush draw. He could have clubs with the ace though. That's very interesting. It's a very interesting hand. So he raised. I mean, obviously his story's telling us he has an ace. The king's good for me. Alright, we're going to fold for now. That's a very, very interesting hand. I think we're going to ship this one if he raises. Just got to hold and get a double. Hold. Ah, damn it. And that's that. We're third. He's running good. What are you going to do? But yeah, I'm very curious about what he had that hand. He's saying he has an ace. Assume for the bigger bets he's not bluffing. All right, I think let's get one more in here. Let's get one more in and see if we can improve. Let me register. Go on. Okay. So on the flop there, the ace 3-3, I think, you know, the correct play with the king 10, kind of correct. It's definitely I need to call because every hand that raises pre-flop is going to be betting there on the ace high with the paired board. However, you know, exploitatively in these tournaments, I don't think we've seen him be particularly, we weren't seeing that player be particularly aggressive. So really, and you know, kind of like in the hand when in the previous tournament when it was king 10, and I said, oh, my opponent probably has queens or jacks. You see, just snap checking and keeps checking on this thing. I probably can exploitatively fold on that flop because if the ace comes out and I called his raised pre-flop, most of these players are just going to say, oh, I don't have the ace, he probably has it, I'm checking. and he's going to go into bluff catching mode if he does have a pocket pair. So really, he's only betting his aces there. So it's interesting. The turn with all the draws coming, he has to keep hammering. It makes, you know, the story makes sense that he's got himself an ace, probably decent ace. Unfortunate last hand. We needed to win that flip to have a chance to get, you know, put ourselves in a position to win that thing. Curious if I had the extra 500 chips or so from not calling, if I could have got a fold, but probably not. Ace Jack's kind of way too good to fold in that stage of the tournament with a stack that guy's size. Guessing he won how hot he was freaking running. Runner straight. Didn't even spike himself an ace or a jack. Rip the band-aid off fast, right? Alright, so there's an argument that it's the first hand and I only have to pay 30 or 60 to call, but it's deuce 7. Let's see what happens here. So, 112, he must be using the percentages, or type that in himself. I think he must be using the percentages to bet. Dixon Dan calls on a jack high board with diamonds. Now there's diamonds and clubs. Poker player bets half pot, gets raised, and all of a sudden our 50 bigs aren't so big. They're already in there for 25 and gets the fold. So poker player was raising what? Betting a weak jack? Betting a pocket pair worse than jacks? If you have the flush draw, you call. With jack, you gotta call. You are out of position though. There's little Pixie. So we know her from the other game. I think I can actually get saucy with this because of the reasons of it's early in the tournament and I have a reasonable hand. Wait, this guy's actually thinking? It was a bet 3-bet. You must have something really good if you want to be playing. What? Not happy with that. Oh boy. Alright, not going too nuts here, just trying to get people out. If they call this, I will be giving up unless we improve. We have middle pair here, I don't want to... What the heck is going on with this guy? I'm very confused. I think we might be out of this tournament. There's a lot of draws, but I have the jack. Spades or not. There's fours now. I don't think that helps or hurts us. What the heck has he been doing? Just calling here. I mean, I can't. That was very interesting. Cold call the 3-bet and then just call ship. 7's on the button again. That was a very interesting hand. 3-bet. Like, he shouldn't be encouraging the other player in with any hands. If he has a good hand, he should just raise again. Alright. I was thinking if I make it 200 and get calls, I'm committed and there are no good flops. Don't want to fold, so I can limp, try and hit, or I can do this. So we'll do this. There you go. It's kind of where my thinking was. I can limp, and that's all right. You know, I have 750. If I flop big, maybe I get something, maybe I don't. Or I can do that. Everyone's limping. It looks like we rate to have the best hand. Maybe get that flip dealt back up. All right, so exclusive 1988. That's very interesting. Let's keep an eye on him and see what he does the rest of this tournament. Cold calling big 3-bets. Only been jack 10. 2 hearts. Leave some comments. Try and think of what kind of hands people play that way. I mean, people will play aces that way. He could have had pocket queens, I guess. I mean, some people will also play queens that way. Big 3-bet. They don't want to raise again because it's big 3-bet. Someone might have had aces. Ace queen, maybe. I feel like ace queen should raise the flop. Honestly, ace queen, if you're gonna play it though, you should just raise. You don't want the button to call. Most of the time, you're gonna lose. Ace 4, ace 3, 2 junky aces. Little pixies, got a little piece of that. Got someone over here who's away from keyboard. See if we can take advantage of that later if they don't come back. Wonder if they lost their connection. Alright, barrage of checks. Still a barrage of checks. We have Anybody raise this pot? I think it was limped, so I think my threes just got counterfeited. Queen high wins. The nines got counterfeited for never betting. Never raising, never betting. So that guy limped in with nines. Playing pretty tight. Yeah, let's join the limp fest with this 7-9. Oh, I hate that. Alright, so exclusive 1988 is really annoying. Really bad annoying. Which kind of makes me think he could add queens. Yeah, this is why you don't do that. I hope you double up the guy on my right. Let's see. What do you got? Yeah, instant fold. Yeah, he just called out of pride. Ace 4 suited. My stack's kind of weird. Once again, I don't really want to get committed. Make the raise, have two people call, and suddenly anything gets me all in. I don't like limping, but you know, we have some kind of limp pre-raise range. Might as well put this in there. All right, well, that's a pretty good flop. Pot's only 300 though. So this is a flop we wouldn't have mind making it 120 and shipping the flop. But given the pot's only 300, let's peel one. No more action. If they'd both called, I might have shipped over, but since they didn't, we'll just call. Pot's 420 now. 7-11 left. Okay, let's see if she's looking for a flush too. What did Little Pixie have for aces? She's not really good at betting her own hand. So since she checked, she might be on a draw. I'm actually going to see... Well, if she has a flush, though, she's going to... Yeah, if she has a flush, she's coming after me. Nah. What did she bet? Bet the flop with? Was she just messing around? Alright, so this person's in the blind. We're going to just try and win the blinds. And if we get raised, we get raised. We're in there. And hope they didn't cooler us. But make a little bigger bet to make it look like I'm just trying to take down the blinds. Exclusive's been very strange. Really don't want to get cooled by exclusive, who is now also out. And we take the blinds down. Not the worst result. Let's do it again. Raise a little smaller. This time exclusive wants to play. He's really into cold calling raises. Okay, good flop. Obviously ace jack has his crushed, but I'm not feeling ace jack out there. Alright, obviously, yeah, let's see, we don't want diamonds. That's pretty good. You shouldn't have ace jack, so I think we're going to go ahead and hope that no one flopped a set. Yeah. So ace king should have raised pre-flop, ace jack should have raised the flop. We are good. So sets are the only things we're really afraid of. Let's get those draws out, take our chips. Alright. Always happy to get a walk. As much as I don't like giving exclusive a walk, we will fold. Good. Under the gun decided to ship it. Yeah, exclusive may just like calling too much, and honestly he may have had any queen. He may have just called with king queen. I don't think queen jack. I had a jack, but he may have been in there with ace queen, king queen. He could have had queen 10 or queen jack. I suppose he may just be like, you know, wants to call too much. Okay, protected pot, ships it in there. It's a pretty big pot though, with an 8, not even a 9. Would have sucked out on me if I'd gotten in there though. Yeah, I have to think about how I feel about these aggressive plays in these protected pots. Now, true, nobody's been knocked out yet, so winning chips is the #1 thing, but it's kind of big. Pot is, but I do have position. Typically people make that rate, and you know, Lily Pixie could have a monster hand though. We've seen her limp aces, but not this time. I do like that hand though. His raise was just a little big, you know, 150, less than 200. Now we're talking, right? Why don't I have that hand this time? I can make the raise or at least call. So 180, once again, just a pot sweetener. Exclusive's making a lot of big mistakes here. So making such a small raise over so many limpers, you're just begging to play a big multi-way pot. Now, you do have the button, but you're just really, if you think about it, making smaller raises actually increases your variance a lot of the time because you're playing against more people. Now you have to hit. So you're going to win a bigger pot, you're going to lose the pot more often. Now there are some games where everyone is so fit or fold that it's kind of a good way to print money. You don't even have to make a large bet to take it down like it just happened there. So if you can recognize that situation, that's a whole different story. a bunch of weak limpers, make a raise, just get rid of a couple of them, and then you can get a really good price on a big multi-way pot because you know, if 5 people call 200, the pot's 2,000, and you can bet 300, and people will start thinking like, oh, I called 200, I don't need to call 300 now, but I mean, the pot's 1,000, and you know, that's just a fantastic situation to be in, especially in a tournament. If you can print money like that in a tournament, you can suddenly have you'll suddenly have 2,500, and no one will know what just happened. Never won a hand, like a big hand that they can remember. It's interesting. It seems like the strategy here for her is just to stay away the entire time. It's not going to work if I'm left in the last 5 or 4 people. I will play much tighter, except for when she's in the blinds. Make sure we get to, you know, make sure we zip the button around as fast as we can. If you're not here at the table, you do not deserve to win. Right. Yeah, so exclusive is just extremely loose. We haven't really seen what he called the big bet with, but he's just extremely loose. Oh, it's not. I want to do this. His pre-flop range for raises and 3 bets is just wide open. Come on, what's taking so long, Dixon Dan? It's 50 to you. Are you also about to go away from keyboard? People have a lot of connection problems today. So I like the time banks. I do not like that it seems like you get recharge. Your time bank recharges kind of too fast on this site, I think. I don't know. Yeah, he is away from keyboard. So now that's 2 people free chips. So we really should just be trying to blind those guys out. I mean, if it's just 1, can't really play around them. But if there's 2, just fold all their bad hands and get their blinds, guys. You know, I mean, what else are you gonna do? They're offering the chips up, and then occasionally exclusive was away from keyboard, so people are having some bad connection problems. It's unfortunate, but yeah, at least it's only 50 center. Just play the hands fast, get those blinds. Yeah, just like that. Let's do it. Oh, all right. This will not be as fast. Limping in. I should have raised, yeah, but with this dead money here, I want to make sure I get that dead money. This bet makes no sense at all. I don't have ace high is the problem. If I had ace high, I mean, if I have ace high, I think I call this honestly. Like, this bet is huge compared to that. I mean, either he made a straight and he thinks he's very confident in that, or he's just bluffing at it, which is fine, but it doesn't have to be that high. I don't want to play, but I have king. I have spade draw. Still have spade draw. I have king high. He made a 9 on the river, but he was ahead technically away. I just needed the spade. Same thing though. We're playing quick. Let's see if I can get him to fold one time. Probably not. Yeah, he calls everything. I have the king 9. Fork it over. What are you gonna do? That's not nice. Ace king, and you call the queen 9, and it looks like you might hold if he doesn't get a club. Wow, you made 2 pairs. So what is it about this seat to my left running super hot in all these tournaments? Seat to my left just running like on fire. Let's see if we can get this guy to fold one time. Nope. Never folds. At least he's hyper checking. We both have ace king. Way to go, and he had his flush draw. How do you miss? Based on the speed of most people, so like, just fold. If you don't want to win, right? Yeah. Let's just get over to the blinds again. All right. But yeah, exclusives literally play anything. Absolutely green. Pocket kings he got though, and I don't blame 8s at all, but he just got whacked. All right, so let's blind these guys away. I don't blame them at all, but let's blind these guys away, and if I can get it, if I can be the one to do it, I'll take it. Exclusive's not gonna let me have it though. Yeah, it's free money. We're just checking it down. Yeah, good. It's free money. We're just taking it down. Let's get the free money. It's an overlay. What these guys are is an overlay, so he can call that 200 as the action closer, you know? He's calling 200 into 350, closing the action. So here we just want to get around fast. I'm not even gonna, yeah, I'm not gonna fight this one. You can have that one. This one I will. Will you let go of a hand? No, never. Never. This hand must have been complete rags if you let it go. Alright, Little Pixie should pick up a little action here. Free over, see this is, you call the 150. You get free 150 overlay in this next hand even bigger. Alright, these guys do seem to know what's going on. Speed of play definitely picked up big time. We're trying to get the lines around, and when there's an overlay, we don't need to knock ourselves out. We just want to get them out first. It's like, what? Whoa. Why wouldn't you want to put yourself in a position where, you know, there's only one more person left? One more person left, and that's it. What? Oh, it was that guy's check. I'm like, whose check was that? He bets again, I'll fold. Yeah. He was doing the same thing. He's trying to protect his equity here. Or maybe he was just trying to get that person to fold because they're the big blind. Yeah, we want to put ourselves in a spot where it's just the four of us battling out to make the money. There's no reason to give them any chance. Oh, please bet. I hope I didn't get cool. Oh God, yeah, please bet. Alright, we're gonna bet 450 and see what happens. Oh well, I'll take it. Quads is quads. So here, like I said, usually I would do more with this, but I don't want to make a big pot with a medium hand. But then we hit a set. These two are just losing. You know, these two are just out. I guess I should have bet 300. Last time the pot was 450. Okay, these guys are real, no reason to fight. So we hit some big hands recently, but nobody calling for obvious reasons. And as you notice, I mean, I'm betting monster hands here. I'm not just, ooh, he's got a lot of chips. I'm not just calling for my health, right? Oh God. So this is huge. This kind of pressure is what I'm talking about. Yeah, this hand is definitely good enough usually to call, but these guys still in it. I'm waiting. We want these guys out. Once these guys are out, then we'll call with the jacks. You know, then we'll make that move. Yeah, we just got half of it back anyways. Queens would have been super tough. Because honestly, he's been calling way too light. But, you know, just because someone calls every single hand, every raise, doesn't mean that they're raising weak. It just means they're calling it every single hand. Not great, but maybe it'll scare someone. Remember, Little Pixie doesn't want to go out before these guys either. Alright, we caught a 9. Interesting. Little Pixie's putting herself at risk. Ace, king, never mind. Oh, with the clubs the whole way down. Ooh. I did get lucky on the turn. Would have beat him. So I'm not even going to bother. I just want to make sure these get back around to these guys. Ooh, those jacks were curious. I wonder if I raise. See, if I raised with the jacks and then he still goes all in, that makes it even stronger. Yeah, it's tough to not get coolered while you're waiting for people to get twos. Yeah, alright. Exclusive's not really playing with his head here. Alright, so because he just lost that big pot, I'm a little nervous that he's going to go nuts this hand. Little Pixie can call a really good overlay here. But did not. Alright. One bet, and then we're out. And by out, I mean then I fold. Alright, we got the pot. Just one C-bet, that's all it takes. And then the blinds aren't there, so as long as they don't want to play. Yeah, exclusive's not really doing it. Board is terrible. Is that a percentage? Is that half pot? No clubs. no gutter, no pair. All right. Well, it's 2 more rounds, and this one's blinded out. Another round after that, and that one's blinded out. But we're all similar. I'm actually the short stack now. The exclusive gave all his chips away. Little Pixie was on the ropes there, but we couldn't get rid of her. So I'm going to be actually close to more risk. This pot's going to determine a lot, though. Here we go. Someone knocking themselves out. Nope. Using that pressure of these two being away. So the pressure, if there were only 3 of us and 2 of them, the pressure of them being away would be immense. There'd be no incentive to play any hand, really. Because they just can't win, you know? A little tight. I just want to wait a minute, make sure. You're guaranteed money if you just don't lose. I mean, it's just that simple. Now, with 4 of us, it's different. You do still have to win. You still have to play some hands. But, like I said, these guys are in danger, especially with this guy in the hand. They're in danger of getting all in any hand, and they could get knocking themselves out at any moment. Nice to kind of little action on our big hands other times. Don't play exclusive every fucking time. Unfortunately, we're going to go for the check jam. And we got colder. Club me. Nope, we're out. Damn it. So, just didn't have the chips. Damn it. Alright, so we could have kept playing X off. Exclusive, I don't know. Guy was playing pretty erratically. It's tough to see. So, in the raise pot, flopped a pair. Terrible board. So, I mean, he's playing hands he shouldn't be playing. Nothing he has should contain a 7. But we did know that, so we could have adjusted. So that's an interesting one to think about. If I bet, same thing. I can't fold if I bet. So really, all there is to do there is to check and just exploitatively be folding, because he would check if he had nothing. He has done that a lot. He did check with nothing quite a bit. I kind of want to watch and make sure these guys, yeah, appropriately blind these guys out. Don't do anything dumb, because that would just be a riot. If somebody knocks themselves out before the people who are away, then that's just completely absurd. Yeah, it should just be a fold session. Like, you should be folding anything but like kings. Then again, exclusive is, honestly, is just really, really bad. Yeah, I think they're gonna do it. All right, well, I think that'll do it for today's stream. We got 1 third place, and then 2 nons, 2 no cashes. So hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you next time. Try and do it again sometime this weekend. This is very different than last time. Like I said, the tables were a lot looser than last time, so the adjustments you got to make are also quite a bit different. It's good practice though for those really loose, low blind cash games they got around. So, all right, I'll catch you next.